Milwaukee, Wisconsin, April 1st, 2024. A young black woman, full of promise and life, steps out for a first date. She goes missing. Days later, her body is found in pieces across the city. This is the story of Sade Carleena Robinson, a 19-year-old college student whose life was stolen in a brutal act of violence. Join us as we explore what happened, how justice was sought, and how the community responded.
Welcome to Black HerTruth.
Sade Carleena Robinson was born on May 10, 2004. She was known among friends and family as radiant, kind, and ambitious. According to family descriptions, she carried a strong work ethic, studying at Milwaukee Area Technical College, MATC, working a part-time job, and nurturing dreams of serving her community. She was employed at the pizza restaurant on Milwaukee's East Side, Pizza Shuttle, where co-workers recall her arriving early, eager, courteous, always with a smile. Friends say she was studying criminal justice, maintaining good grades, and hoped to join the U.S. Air Force after graduation. On her downtime, she loved the color pink, so much so that after her disappearance, memorials featured pink flowers, ribbons, and items as a tribute to her personality. In the days leading up to April 1, 2024, she texted her mother for a small amount of money, something described by her mother as unusual. It was the last normal moment before things turned dramatically. Her family remembers a bright future. Her mother said she was a loving daughter, a cherished sister, words that would echo in the years after as they fought for answers. It's important to pause here. This isn't just a statistic. This was a young black woman with hopes, plans, relationships. She had a shift to show up to at Pizza Shuttle the next day. She had texts open, friends expecting her. And then she vanished. And never came home. We now move to the evening of April 1, 2024, the date that changed everything. April 1, 2024, the day started like any ordinary spring day in Milwaukee County. But by evening, Sade was out on what she believed to be the start of something positive, a date. Records show that between 4:15 p.m. and 5:18 p.m., text messages were exchanged between Sade and the man who would become the principal suspect, Maxwell Stephen Anderson. One message read, "Let's eat at Twisted. I'm feeling seafood." Sade responded, "Yes, I love seafood." Surveillance video captured Anderson entering Twisted Fishman alone around 5:09 p.m. Sade met him shortly afterwards. They spent time dining and drinking. Then they went together to Duke's on Water in downtown Milwaukee. The footage shows them leaving that bar together at about 9:04 p.m. From there, phone tracking data and Life 360 location pings place Sade's phone at Anderson's home near 39th and Oklahoma at 9:24 p.m. The sequence of events from the two bars and into that residence is crucial. For Sade, it seemed like part of a normal date night. For investigators, it became the last trace of a life before the unthinkable. At approximately 12:45 a.m. on April 2nd, her phone ultimately pinged at that residence. After that, cell phone records show movement away from the apartment and into the early morning hours. It was supposed to be a safe evening. Instead, it became the beginning of a disappearance deeply shrouded in violence. Early morning, April 2nd, 2024. Sade did not show up for her scheduled shift at Pizza Shuttle. A friend reported her missing to the Milwaukee Police Department. That same morning, her 2020 Honda Civic was found burned near 30th Street and Lisbon Avenue, about 2 miles from her home. Investigators would later link the vehicle to her. Later that day, at about 5:29 p.m., a severed human leg was discovered at Warnemont Park in Coody, the toes painted with pink nail polish. That leg would later be identified as Sade's. Over the next days, April 5th to 7th, additional body parts and remains found near 31st and Galena Streets on Milwaukee's north side. April 18th, a torso and arm found along the shoreline in South Milwaukee. May 11th, a human arm washes up at Waukegan, Illinois, about 50+ miles away, later confirmed by DNA to be Sade's. The growing discovery of remains transformed a missing person case into one of the most brutal homicide investigations the region had seen. The use of the shoreline, multiple dump sites, and the burning of the vehicle indicated premeditation, cover-up, and a chilling level of violence. As investigators processed each scene, the family and community were already mobilizing search parties, pleas for help, and public memorials. The pink ribbons began appearing at job sites, sidewalks, outside Anderson's residence. This era of the case marked the hurting phase: missing daughter, shattered family, pieces found one by one, and the public realization that justice would not be simple. Following the discovery of multiple human remains across Milwaukee County and into Illinois, law enforcement shifted into full investigation mode. Authorities quickly focused on Maxwell Anderson as the prime suspect. On April 12, 2024, he was charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson. Unsealed warrants revealed chilling details. A confidential informant said that roughly 1 month before the murder, Anderson showed him his basement, 3 saws, and a plastic tarp covering the walls and windows. He allegedly described how he would kill and dismember someone. Surveillance footage captured Sade and Anderson at the restaurant and bar the evening of April 1st. Video showed the suspect's car driving around, and later the torched Civic near Lisbon Avenue with what detectives described as blood in plain sight on the front passenger door speaker. Forensic and digital evidence lined up: phone ping data, Life 360 location tracking, surveillance video, and the charred auto. Investigators also executed a traffic stop on April 4th, arresting Anderson near 38th and Lakefield Drive. During the trial, the prosecution argued that Anderson killed Sade at his home, then dismembered her body, dispersed remains across Milwaukee County and beyond, and burned her car in an attempt to destroy evidence. Defense counsel contested the claims of intent, arguing the prosecution had no direct DNA linking Anderson to the murder scene, and no neighbors heard a struggle. The legal fight centered on establishing 1. That Sade was killed, not just missing. 2. That Anderson caused the killing intentionally. 3. That the mutilation and disposal of remains were committed by Anderson. 4. That the arson was part of a cover-up. But the strength of the evidence was overwhelming. On June 6, 2025, the jury found Anderson guilty on all 4 counts: first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, hiding a corpse, and arson. He faces a mandatory life sentence, with formal sentencing in August 2025. Important to note, the motive for the killing remains officially unknown. Prosecutors did not present a clear motive during the trial. The investigation sent ripples: forensic teams, community search parties, media coverage from national outlets, and legal teams working around the clock. The victim's family stayed publicly active, demanding answers, attending hearings, pressing for memorials and justice. The defense attorney even reported receiving death threats in connection with the case, underlining the high emotions involved. This case not only tested the criminal justice system, but also laid bare how young black women can be vulnerable, how date settings can turn deadly, and how vigilance is required in everyday interactions. The community response was immediate and passionate. Because pink was Sade's favorite color, many of the memorials featured pink flowers, balloons, ribbons, and stuffed animals. A pink-out vigil was held near Anderson's residence and at Sade's former workplace, where co-workers and friends laid tributes, telling stories of Sade's kindness and promise. On May 19, 2024, Milwaukee Area Technical College awarded Sade a posthumous degree during commencement, symbolizing the life she was working toward. A mural of Sade was painted outside her workplace, turning grief into public art and a constant reminder of her presence. Friends, family, and community groups organized searches, sometimes walking 20+ miles across areas near Lake Michigan, calling for leads and leaving flyers. The case sparked public discussions about safety on first dates, especially for young Black women. The importance of checking in with friends, family when someone goes missing. How disappearances of Black women can unfortunately be delayed in public attention. Through the pain, Sade's memory became a rallying point. The family emphasized she wasn't just a victim, she was a vibrant young woman with dreams. They pressed for community awareness, like the pink ribbons, keep her name alive. The reaction also demonstrated solidarity. Local bars, restaurants, and campus groups held moments of silence. Social media posts carried hashtags, names, images. Sade's story spread beyond Milwaukee to a national audience. Importantly, the community's persistence helped keep pressure on law enforcement and the media, ensuring the case wasn't forgotten. That kind of awareness matters in fighting injustice. The ultimate twist in this story, the person Sade trusted on a first date became her killer. That betrayal carries a deep emotional sting. Also, the scale of violence and disposal of remains is rare and extreme. Several body parts remained missing even as trial day approached, underlining the depths of the crime. The crime forces questions: how many first dates end in tragedy but go unreported? How often do young women leave home for a night and never return? For viewers, this is not a sensational story. It is a caution. It is a real human life. As Sade's mother said after the verdict, she will forever be remembered as an angel. For all the attention given, judges, juries, and media remain part of a larger system. What changes come from this case? Will bars and restaurants update vetting policies? Will peer-to-peer date safety conversations increase? These are the lasting questions. Sade Carleena Robinson is gone. But her story remains a warning, a call to vigilance, for dates, for trust, for loss. Maxwell Stephen Anderson will spend life behind bars. But no sentence can rebuild the life taken, the echoes left behind. For every viewer, remember her name. Share it. Talk about these dangers. Honor her memory by protecting the ones you love. Thank you for watching. If you found this story impactful and want to help keep these kinds of stories from being forgotten, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, stay with us.